Hi, I'm Arjun Partha, and I'd like to welcome you to the Druid's Craft Holiday Special. And to those of you who practice Hinduism, I'd like to wish you a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi. Today, I'm going to show you how to make an Origami Ganesha Idol. For this origami model, you're going to need 175 GSM paper cut into a square. It's just as simple as that. Before we begin the folding process, I like to make it clear that this line diagonally is only there in my paper. This is not there in any of the steps, so don't fold this line. Now let's begin the folding process. To begin, we're going to have to fold this corner to this corner. So just take that, press it down like this. Now the reason for me being to be able to do so easily is because I've already creased a bit. These are known as pre-creases, right? So now we're going to fold this end to this. Sometimes it's useful to make pre-creases before making the actual model, so it's easier for us to do it. And then we just open it up, you get a nice big X in the middle. Then we are going to turn our paper around and see that this is going to be the front and this is going to be the back. So we rotate it, we make this end touch the middle here. So just take that, press it, then make a few pinch pieces here like this. You see, I've not gone completely. This part and this part is still a little bit up, right? It's not looking creased. That's what a pinch crease is. Means you're making a short line here, but you're not folding it completely. Then you should roughly get this mark. You're going to fold this line down to the mark. Just take that and press it down like this, right? Then we remember to crease this fully because this is not going to be unfolded. This is the main part of the model. Then we're going to make this edge touch like this bit. Like that. I just hold two fingers for support and make crease like this. Then we repeat the same for the other side. Yeah, just like that. And we get something like this, where this is the front, this is the back or the bottom. Then we are going to have to unfold it like this and make this part touch this part, this part touch this part. It will be really easy because we already made that crease. We don't have to doubt where it's going to go or take any measurements. Right? That's why it's useful to make these pre-creases beforehand. Then we're going to open these. Now we're going to do something called a reverse fold. That means you take this part up and fold along this line. See this? So you should roughly get something like this. Then we gotta fold up along this line. Yeah, just like that. Then press it down for some support. Then lift it up. Do the same for this line right here. Like see this one. You just collapse it down. Right. And then we get this big triangle. Put a hand into a loop and just press it down like this. Right. Very easy, right? I thought so too. Then we're going to fold this part to the middle and this part to the middle. Just something like this and something like this. And we take two fingers and press down like this. Get a very nice firm crease. Then we hold it there for a while. Just keep pressing it here and there. Right? press. Then we fold this part down. Take our paper over, fold it down like this. Then we unfold it, right? Because it's not permanent crease. We unfold this and try and lift this part up. So just take it like this, right? And start folding along these lines. And then you fold one part, press it down, and then do it for the other part. If you try to do both at once, you have a risk of not aligning them properly or not making them go in the correct direction or just not folding it on the correct line, right? That's why it's better to do it one side at a time. And we press our paper down. Yeah, we get something like this flap right here. Then we have to fold this up and let it rest like this. Where we just fold it up, press, rest for a few seconds like this. Press it down from time to time if you have to. Then when we made our partial creases like over here, remember then, now we have to take this part of the sheet up, fold along that line, insert it in the back. See, just like this, you're gonna have to do it for the other side. Like that. And you should have got something like this. Then, you know how Ganesha has not a perfectly triangular tip, right, for his trunk, but it's more flat sort of thing. You're gonna decide how much of flatness do you want it. A lot, then go in a lot like this, or if you want it to be only a little bit like flat, more and more pointy, and want to give a long, nice trunk to him, then I recommend you do it only this much. If you want it to be very short and the tip is very big, right, like this, then you can do it like that. I'm going to give him a short nose tip. I'm going to fold down roughly somewhere near here. No need to take any measurements. You can just look at it and decide. And we fold this and pull these parts here like this. Then we fold along that line again. Then we just let these parts naturally close. And done. You have concealed the trunk here. We can push this up so it gets used to it there. Just let it get used to it there and push it up. Then I have to fold these lines along this part. Right? So just make it touch like this. And yeah, something like this should have come. Now, this isn't a permanent crease, so just let it go up a little if you want. Then we make this part touch this end like that. Like that. And then we unfold it just like this. So yeah, we should have roughly gotten something like this. Now we get to a little bit more tricky folds. That means that we're gonna have to fold this part over here where this sort of X we made here is the miniature X. We're gonna have to fold this line till here and this line till here. We just take our paper and fold till the X. Remember, this is going to be a 90-degree fold, so this part has to touch this edge and this part has to touch this edge. Remember, it only goes to the X, and none of the other folds should start coming out. So we roughly just get something like this, right? And then I'm gonna repeat the same for the other side. So that this part touches the X, this part should have touched somewhere near here, this part should touch here, and this part should touch here, like this. Then like that. Just press it down like this, and make sure none of the creases are coming out here and here. You should have another thing like this over here. Then we're gonna fold this down, right? And roughly we're going to decide the eye length. So this part, right? Imagine that it's been folded in thirds. You're going to fold this part on one of those thirds. So bring it like this, right? Just like this, and this is going to be the eye part or the ear part. So yeah, let it be a bit small, like I made it here, and roughly get the same size on this side too. You can push this down for reference, and this is optional. You can make it fold along this line, right? Make this come along the center and fold along this line, so some accuracy in the folds, right? Only fold on this part, no need to fold this this part, right? Till here it doesn't need to be folded. After here it needs to be folded. So you've only got a pinch for this side but not this side. And then if you want you can do the same for the trunk, but be careful here because you don't want too much of a fold to come on the trunk. So yeah, you should have roughly made a fold here or here, depending on where you got to make the fold. And we just push this up. Like that, just keep pressing it around because this is something of a trial error if you're not doing it for the first time. So you gotta make one end touch this fold and one end touch this fold. Now we're gonna have to make this part of the trunk a bit shorter. So we're gonna decide roughly where the middle of these two is and fold this line near that middle. So just take it in. Then we lift this flap, we fold the middle in like this. So we just keep pressing it like this. We fold it down flat. Then we fold our eye structure up like this. So yeah, you roughly reduce the size for this part. And then you can do the same for the other side. Just lift this, fold this part till it touches somewhere near the middle here. You can even lift it up for reference like this, and this is a bit of a tricky fold, but don't worry because no matter how it is, it'll look great. Just make sure that both the sides are even or they have an equal distance apart from each other. Then when you're sure that it's gone enough, right, just make it touch. Like this, just keep folding it down Then you can place it flat like this, and you've got your shortened sort of side trunk. Your trunk sides have certainly shortened a bit. Then you push this part down like that. So that's how the trunk is shortened. Just push two parts in and then lift these and then push it back in. See, it isn't that difficult. Now we're going to make this fold touch the center and along this line we made here. It sounds complicated first, but I'll give you assurance that it's much easier than it sounds. Right? So we just take this, make it move till somewhere near here. It's a bit difficult at first because the paper is very thick, but we get something like this, then we fold it down. Right, so just press it down like this, because this line, see this sort of diagonal and straight here, this X has to touch the middle of the whole model. So we just press that down there like this, take two fingers and press it down. Then we're going to fold somewhere like this. We're not going to completely unfold it, but we're going to give him a bit of a structure sort of thing. Where, remember we made an X with this part and this part? Well, there should roughly be an X somewhere near here. We're going to fold this part into that X. What this actually does is that it gives a bit of a 3D effect to the model. So you got to do it with a lot of care, so to not fold on that line. We take this, we fold along this line right here. Right, somewhere near here, because it's a bit difficult. It's gonna take several minutes to get this fold right. Right, but if you want an easy trick to make it simpler, just lift this part to whatever extent you like and then just keep flattening it till you reach this X. Then when you reach the X, just leave your finger there like this and then fold it till somewhere near the ear. Right, just fold it down like this. So yeah, I should get something like this. This part gets a bit crinkled. Don't worry, I have a solution to it as we go further and further into the model. Then we're going to do the same hard fold for this side. So we take the X formed by this line right here and this line, fold it to the middle. So we roughly just fold it down like that. Yeah. If you're getting worried that you're gonna have to do this again, this is my technique. Just keep pressing it up till you reach the X. Right, just like this. And this part is going to be a bit 3D, so you can just push this part a bit downwards or upwards depending on where it's going to be folded. But I recommend that you push this upwards because it's going to add 3D aspect to our model. So after this part is upwards, just going to fold this part inwards on the other side because it's going to be easier for this flap to lock in then, right? You don't have to keep holding these things. That will be very simple. So we turn our model around, we just fold it like this. Just make a pinch here though, you want to see what it looks like on the other side, right? And it should roughly look like this. So leave a bit of space here, don't try and completely fold it. Then we're going to do the same for the other side. Take it and fold it as much as you think you can along that line. Again, leave some space towards the ear. And just make it a pinch, don't fold it all the way because you want to see what it looks like for the front. Then I'm going to turn this around, see what it looks like according to me, right? Because I'm the person who's going to be using this. So just fold that till somewhere near here, right? Just fold it like this. Just fold that down, right? And you should have these folds in the back. They don't have to be the same size because not everybody's going to notice the back. Just have to make sure that the front looks good with these folds in the back. Then you can just sit down in the front like this. Just keep pressing it down so it comes properly in the back, right? Then this crease we made right here, just take that and try and squash it flat like this. So this crease, right, you just fold it here like this, make it a bit flat. And then you're going to realize that these are Ganesha's hands, so depending on how you want it, just going to keep positioning it this way and that way. You get a pinch like this, right? Just keep doing it like that. You should get Ganesha's hands. And if you want a more straight fold for the hands and make it go this way and not that way, you're going to have to go into some more complicated things like this. So he has straight pointing hands now, right? So roughly look like this. And we're going to do the same for the other side. Lift along this flap based on the direction you want it to be in. You're going to fold it that way. Remember, this part can be folded to any extent you like. Just make sure that this part is in the corner. So you get a triangle like this. Depending on whether you want it up like this or straight, you can fold it there. Just make sure it's in the same direction as one hand. So that you roughly get two hands like this, right? And then this is what your model is looking like before the few of the final steps. Right, so like this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take this flap and fold it till these corners here. And remember, under the trunk, not over. Just take our thing like this and fold it like this. And the arms, right, are going to lock this, so just press them down. This will go as much as it can till the arms lock it in. Press. the arms down like this to see how much it will go. Then we fold this flat like this, right? This very last piece here. Then we're going to make sure this white part is hidden for good. So turn our model over, just fold this white part inwards. Just make sure that it goes all the way in the back. Only make a pinch because we have to see what it looks like in the front. So just take it and fold it around like this, right? Just fold it all the way around. Make it look like this. Make sure there's enough space in the hands when you do this, so that he has a place to sit also, right? And just fold it up to roughly be parallel in this fold. So if you fold this in half, right, one side should look like the mirror image of the other, right? Like this. Now we're going to approach our very final sort of steps for this, very last steps. Then when we are approaching our final steps, we're going to take this, right, the crease we made for the eyes earlier, and just open it up like this, make it flat. These can be eyes or ears depending on how large you fold them. But remember, when you fold this, always make sure that the trunk, the bottom part, isn't skewed around in any direction. That means it isn't moved one way or the other. So just going to take it, fold it like this. Then you're confident, you press this part down like this. See, just like that, you just squash this eyes or ears down. And you repeat the same for the other side. Fold it a little bit more inwards. And you fold it flat. When you do this, you're going to release some inner layers out. That's okay. Just make sure that none of the inner layers actually pushes the eyes downwards. So you can push this part up. Give it a more realistic eyebrow sort of appearance, right? Give it a sort of 3D look. And we make sure that they look symmetrical, right? You just make sure that it looks good and symmetrical like this. Right, just keep pressing it around, fidgeting with it to make it look good. You can even use your thumb as shapers for the eyes. Pay a lot of attention for this part. Pay a lot of attention. Now we're going to take the bottom and see that it has this sort of shape. We're going to push it in. Because this has been folded over a line, means it can be pushed inwards. Roughly like this, you just push it in and press it down flat. Then we're going to take this and start curling the trunk. I recommend that you use a pencil or something of that sort and curl it diagonally. So when it curls, it goes this way or this way, not straight. So Start taking a pencil like this, roll it along that, right? So after curling it up with a pencil, it should be much easier to do. So you take one end, just keep rolling it like this. Again, make sure no obstruction to the eyes, right? No obstruction to the eyes. And then just take it like this with finger or thumb and curl it up. You can even hold it in place for a few seconds if you like. Then let it out, right? Then we push this a bit in front to show its curls or structure like this. Just push a bit in the front. Then we reshape our eyebrows or eyes here because they would have gotten a bit distorted in shape, right? And you have finished your model. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's standing. And this is what your final model should look like. If you want a size reference, it's about this big. So however tall your hand is from the base to the thumb, right? That's how tall it's going to be if you take an A4 paper like I have here. Also, you can use any color you like. It's nice if you take a white and colored sheet like this because only one color is going to be shown. The white side would be the back. However, I don't recommend taking duple paper. That means there are two different colors which are not white on two sides and the other color won't show much. So if you just take like a color paper with white and another color, it's going to look great. Here the arms right here and the legs haven't given much detail here, and the head, especially the eyes and the trunk, have been given a lot of detail so it stands out. This will be really nice as a gift, and also it's eco-friendly, DIY, and pretty easy to make, right? That's why it's great in alternative to buying a clay idol in a heavily crowded marketplace, and especially during these times, it's recommended to stay indoors and keep like a 6 feet distance from other people and wear a mask. So you can make this idol pretty much everywhere and it has a very realistic look, so it will serve the purpose really nicely. And now we are coming to an end of this video where I'd like to wish you a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi.